To my left is Bo Jones and Andrea Worthy. They are also members of the City of Smyrna staff and some of the better ones. So if you don't know them, get to know them. All right. If you guys are okay, we'll go ahead and start with formal business. Item A is a public hearing variance request V24-020, allow a second accessory structure on land lot 599 at 3804 Ashwood Drive. Joshua B. Berg is the applicant. Ms. Crow, would you give us a background?
Yes. All right. Perfect. Good morning. Caitlin Crow, Planner 1, Community Development. So, as you mentioned, this is variance V24-020 to allow for that additional accessory structure. So this subject parcel is almost a half-acre lot located on the south side of Ashwood Drive. So prior to 2021, the property was occupied by an existing single-family home as well as a shed in the rear of the house. In April of 2021, a pool company submitted for a pool permit, and on the plans showed that the shed was to be removed to avoid this very variance to allow for that second accessory structure. Upon the final inspection, the shed was still there. Per the applicant, it was never their intent to remove it, so the pool company in error put that on their plans. So thus now we're here to actually get the variance for that second accessory structure. So that existing shed is currently being used for the pool equipment to keep it away from any children or anybody who might be visiting the property. There are no other structures within 75 feet besides the existing single-family home on the subject property. There are also no formal records of when this shed was built, since any structure underneath 200 square feet does not require a building permit. So really after review of this variance application, and this is something we would typically support if it had happened in the beginning, staff is supportive of the request, and there are no additional stipulations since it is an existing condition. So I can answer any questions.
Any questions for Ms. Crow? All right. Is the
Thank you.
applicant present? Would you please step forward to the microphone? You would give us your name and your address, please, sir?
Yes, my name's Josh Bieberg, 3804 Ashwood Drive, Southeast, Smyrna, Georgia.
Thank you very much. Is there anything that you'd like to add to what Ms. Crow presented?
No, I think that was great. The shed was on our property even before we had moved in, about 4 or 5 years ago now. And only thing we've done to it was paint it. It's in great condition. And yeah, it does a really good job holding all our pool equipment and our lawnmower. And the last thing we want is to just put that in the driveway. So it'd be really great to be able to keep that shed.
Okay. Any questions for the applicant? All right. You can have a seat.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. If there's anyone present who would like to speak for or against this variance request, please do so at this time. Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion to approve.
A motion to, I can't even talk today. I motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve variance request V24-020. Do I have a second?
Second motion.
Motion and a second. All those in favor, please vote. All right. That unanimously passed. Thank you very much. Item B is variance request V24-021, increase the maximum impervious surface area from 35% to 40.5% on land lot 416 at 850 Bank Street. Carter Ambrister is the applicant. Ms. Crow, could we get a background on this, please?
All right. Hello again. Caitlin Crow, Planner 1, Community Development. So this variance is V24-021 to increase the maximum impervious surface area from 35% to 40.5%, as you mentioned. So this subject parcel is a 0.25 acre lot, which is located on the south side of Bank Street, right at the intersection of Bank Street and Eastfield Road. So the applicant is proposing to construct a deck on an existing impervious area made up of gravel and concrete in the rear of the property. The existing property currently has a very large driveway that goes around to the rear and encompasses most of that rear yard. So the existing impervious coverage is roughly 5% over the allowable maximum of, again, 35%. Since this increase was already there, And the site has no additional land disturbance as part of this deck. The city engineer is not requiring any type of stormwater mitigation plan to be submitted in order to support this variance. So after reviewing this variance application, staff does support the request and does have the standard condition. Approval of the requested variance is conditioned upon substantial compliance with the site plan and elevations submitted with the variance application. And again, I can answer any questions.
Any questions for Ms. Crowe?
All right, thank you.
Is the applicant present? If you please step forward. State your name and address when you arrive at the microphone, please.
Carter Armbruster, 850 Bank Street.
Thank
Smyrna.
you. Is there anything you'd like to add to what Ms. Crowe presented?
No, those.
Do you understand the conditions that have been placed on this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. You guys be in compliance with that. That'd be great. Okay, you guys have any questions for the applicant? No questions, sir. Please have a seat. This is a public hearing. If there's anyone here who'd like to speak for or against this request, please do so at this time. Hearing none, we will move forward by entertaining a motion.
Motion to approve V24-021, increase the maximum impervious surface area from 35% to 40.5%, located in land lot 416, 850 Bank Street. Carter and Brester as applicant.
Second.
We have a motion that's been properly seconded. Please vote. Guess that includes me, huh? All right, motion passes. Thank you very much. Items C and D are the same property, but we'll entertain them as two separate variance requests. Variance request V24-022 is a request to reduce the front setback from 35 feet to 18.9 feet on land lot 408 at 824 Reed Road. Chris Westerman is the applicant. Ms. Crowe, can you give us a background on both these requests, and then we'll vote on them individually?
Yeah, absolutely. So as you mentioned, the first one is V24-022 to reduce that front setback from 35 feet to 18.9 feet. The second variance that you will hear is V24-023 to allow for a gravel driveway. So this subject parcel is currently a 0.445 acre lot, which is located right at the southwestern intersection of Reed Road and Green Forest Parkway. In conjunction with this variance application, the applicant has also submitted for a combination plat to acquire some of their neighbor's land. This will kind of come evident when I talk about the gravel driveway. Once this plat has been recorded, the subject property will be a total of 0.55 acres. I do want to point out that the one that you saw did mention that it would be over an acre, so it is going to be a total of 0.55 acres. So the applicant is proposing to remodel the existing home by adding a large garage addition that will have a covered breezeway connecting to the existing home. So the addition will have 2 stories. The first will be mostly just the workshop as well as the garage for the antique car collection that the applicant has. And then the second floor will have a bathroom and office space for him and his family to use while they're using the garage. It will be kind of a modern style look with hardy plank siding and will be painted to match the existing home. So the existing home is currently pushed as far to the setback as possible right now due to a colonial pipeline easement that's roughly 63 feet wide at the rear of the property. In order to kind of keep the garage at the same plane that the existing house is, the applicant is looking to get that front setback reduction. Along with the easement, the colonial pipeline does not allow any permanent structures to be erected inside the easement, and thus they have required that a gravel driveway be done. As you're aware, this is one of our stricter variances, so because the colonial pipeline has required this in order to allow for the garage, we are also in support of this specific variance. So as part of this, the colonial pipeline has submitted, or the applicant has submitted an agreement from them that agrees to these conditions, and they will be adhered to as part of the variance. So after reviewing the variance application, staff is supportive of the request with the following 3 conditions. The first is our standard condition, that approval of the approval of the requested variance shall be conditioned upon substantial compliance with the site plan that's been submitted with the variance application. Number 2, The combination plat to adjust the property line to accommodate the new driveway location shall be recorded with the Cobb County Superior Court prior to permitting. And number 3, a concrete driveway apron shall be installed in the city right-of-way for the new driveway entrance along Green Forest Parkway. And I can answer any questions you might have.
Any questions for Ms. Crowe?
Yeah, I've got one, Ms. Crowe. Are we talking about just the gravel driveway just being over the easement or the entirety of the entire driveway?
I'm not following you correctly. Most of the driveway is within the easement, but there are a little bit of sections that are outside.
Yeah, I was just
of it.
wondering if part of it, when they leave the easement, will that be concrete? But
I understand. On the plans, it is showing that it will revert back to concrete right before the
Right.
garage. The applicant can verify if that's still his intent. And then everything within the city right-of-way, yes, will also require to be concrete.
Gotcha. Thank you.
All right, any other questions?
Okay,
Thank you,
thank
Ms.
you.
Crowe. Is the applicant present? Yes. We're hoping it's you. If you would state your name and address for the record, please.
Chris Westerman, 824 Reed Road, Smyrna, Georgia.
Welcome. Is there anything you'd like to add to what Ms. Crowe?
No, I can
Stated.
answer any questions you've got.
Can you clarify for Mr. Jones here, can you clarify where the concrete will start on the plan from outside of the Colonial Pipeline right away?
Right, so I have to do the apron down at the curb, and then from the driveway or the garage opening, pretty much kind of the end of the property line, following the edge of the pipeline where the edge of our easement is.
Okay, yeah, when I looked at the plans earlier, I wasn't for sure if it was concrete, partial concrete, and partial gravel, but
Yeah.
I don't see why they wouldn't let you put concrete, but that is Colonial Pipeline, not City of Smyrna, so.
Yeah,
You know.
and we were, with the driveway talking about doing a paver edge or like a concrete runner. The pipeline was good with that to kind of contain the gravel and make it look better than just a gravel driveway, and not talking large gravel, more of a crush and run, smaller, something that looks better than like I say, a gravel road.
Right, gotcha, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions for the applicant? You understand the conditions?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. As long as you understand those, we're good to move forward. You're welcome to have a seat, sir.
Thank you.
This is a public hearing. If there's anyone present who would like to speak for or against this variance request, please do so at this time. Hearing none, we will entertain a motion.
I motion to approve V24-022, a variance request to reduce the front setback from 35 feet to 18.9 feet in land lot 408 at 824 Reed Road.
Second motion.
We have a motion that's been properly seconded. Please vote. And that motion passes unanimously. Item V24-023 is to allow a gravel driveway on land lot 408 at 824 Reed Road. Chris Westerman applicant. Ms. Crowe, is there any additional information you'd like to add?
Not at this time.
Any questions for Ms. Crowe?
I could have saved that for this.
You could have, but
portion.
you didn't. It's okay.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ms. Crowe, for clarifying.
Chris, you have anything else you'd like to add? Good? All right. Any questions for the applicant on this that we haven't already asked in previous sessions? Yeah. This is a public hearing. If there's anyone who'd like to speak for or against this variance request, please do so at this time. Let the record show there's no one else in the courtroom besides the applicant and the committee. Hearing none, we will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve variance request V24-023 to allow gravel driveway land lot 408 located at 824 Reed Road. Chris Westerman is applicant.
Second.
We have a motion that's been properly seconded. Please vote. That one passes unanimously as well. Thank you very much. Next item on our agenda is the approval of minutes, MIN 2024-047, approval of the April 10th, 2024 License and Variance Board meeting minutes, the shortest meeting in the history of License and Variance Board meetings at 1 minute and 46 seconds. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion that's been properly seconded. Please vote. unanimously approved, as we knew it would be. Any other business that needs to come before the board this morning? Hearing none, will adjourn.